Well, g'day and welcome to another episode of Robbo's Wrap, a brief look at the best bits of the Aussie Athletics action all around the country in the build-up to the Gold Coast Commonwealth Games. On today's show, we cover some of the action over the weekend from South Australia, Queensland and New South Wales, and we have a chat with Jess Trengove, who had a run in Japan. It was indeed a massive weekend of athletics action with no fewer than 3 state championships being held. But before we get to those, we head back over to Perth, where Nina Kennedy opened up her season in the women's pole vault with a 4.60 m clearance. And here's the jump, but we've overlaid the commentary from her 4.59 previous PB from almost 3 years ago at the same track. Great memories for Nina and great work bagging another A qualifier. So to Adelaide for the South Australian State Championships, and it was steeplechaser Max Stevens tearing it up on the track once again, bagging another PB, getting a sub 8.40 time, another B qualifier for Max. He ran 8.39 and he's taken almost 20 seconds off his PB in the last couple of weeks. He's on fire and expect to see Max featuring at the pointy end at Nationals. Meanwhile, in the walks, and it was Claire Talent taking out the 5,000 metre, 10,000 metre race walk double, and she's showing that she's in good form ahead of the Australian 20k race walk champs in Adelaide this coming weekend. While in the men's pole vault, it was Curtis Marshall on his home runway, bagging the gold medal and clearing 5 metres 55. To New South Wales now, and the 121st New South Wales champs took place at Sydney Olympic Park, and it was Danny Stevens opening up her season, and she got the discus out there to 66.02 metres, another qualifier for her. In the men's discus, we welcomed back Benny Harradine, getting the gold medal there with a 59.83. We look forward to seeing what he can do at Nationals. Then Sydney Uni's Nick Huff flew home to win the men's 110 metre hurdles final. It was a scintillating run from Nick. He ran it in 13.51, which is his 4th fastest time ever. However, there was a wind assistance, an illegal wind assistance there for Nick Huff, but he's showing some great form. But the fastest run of the weekend right around the country was produced by 21-year-old Anas Abouganaba, and he came in with a PB of 10.59. He's finished the weekend as state champion, running 10.28 with a legal 1.4 metre per second tailwind. Now, in conjunction with the New South Wales champs happening at Sydney Olympic Park on the Sunday, the Gold Coast 2018 Queen's Baton Relay came to town and featured a lap of the track. We see here Louise Savage was one of the baton bearers. New South Wales Athletics official Rob Blackadder had the honour as well. Alex Hulley, who'd won the hammer throw over the weekend, she also had an opportunity to be a baton bearer. And also around the traps, Kurt Fernley in Newcastle, Ray Anderson on the Central Coast, Danny Stevens in Sydney were also honoured as baton bearers over the weekend. Next, it's up to Queensland, where days 1 and 2, the conditions were hampered by the wet weather up there for the Queensland Championships. However, it didn't stop Matt Denny, who won the discus and hammer throw double. In the men's high jump, Nick Boyich got over for another B qualifier, clearing 2.21. And teenager Riley Day picked up her first and second state championship gold medals, winning both the 100 metres and the 200 metres. But it was Sally Pearson who rounded out the action from Brisbane on day 3. In the 100 metre hurdles heat, she ran 12.68 into a headwind, came out in the final, running almost identical time, 12.67 with a decent tailwind there. She was pleased with those runs and she is coming into some fantastic form ahead of Nationals and the Gold Coast Com Games.
Whoopsies.
Well, that wraps up the state champs action from around the country over the weekend. But overseas, we had Aussies in action at the Marugame Half Marathon in Japan. Now, there were some great results coming from this race, including Chris Hamer running 62.29 for 14th place, and Jess Trengove running 70 minutes 59 for 4th place. Jack Cole-Reevy, the other Aussie in the race, running 65.05. But to tell us more about it all, we can now cross live to Cairns Airport, where Jess Trengove joins us. G'day, Jess. Thanks for joining us. I know you've got a plane to catch shortly, so we'll crack on with a few questions. I know you've raced in Japan before, but tell us, what was this experience like?
It was an incredible experience, extremely cold. I'd barely seen snow, let alone throw myself into it in a crop top and shorts. But, you know, it was one of those memorable race moments where we all just got together and embraced the conditions. It was quite funny, all sort of huddling around, waiting to head out to the bus on the morning of the race, and this blizzard came through and everyone was just sort of laughing. They couldn't believe it. I don't think it happens very often in Maragami.
Wow, sounds fresh. Now what about the race itself? What were the plans going into the race and how did it all go?
So my race plan was always to head over to Japan and try and, you know, get in that strong field and race it and aim for a personal best, but more so just have a really strong hit out ahead of the Commonwealth Games marathon in April. And I did that, and I came away with a bit of a PB, just snuck under the 71-minute mark, and it was positive signs leading towards the marathon in 10 weeks. And I was also really happy for Chris Hamer and Jack Holreevy, who had great races. Chris in particular, he was his second ever half and he shaved 100 seconds off his PB and just took on the race. It was really impressive. Japan itself is a phenomenal place to run. The locals really get around every race. There were people out on course, you know, in the snow, waving their paper fans and cheering for every competitor in the race.
Well done, Jess. Thanks very much for joining us on Robbo's Wrap.
Thanks, and we will see you on the Gold Coast in 10 weeks.
Well, that's it for today's show. Don't forget, coming up this weekend in Adelaide is the Australian 20k Race Walk Championships before we head to Carrara Stadium on the Gold Coast the following weekend for the Australian Athletics Championships. Thanks for joining us. Keep enjoying the action and we'll see you for the next wrap.